David Benavidez has officially been crowned WBC light heavyweight champion of the world due to Dmitry Bivol relinquishing the belt to go on and rematch Artur Beterbiev in the third fight in the trilogy for the unified titles of the world. This is interesting, in my opinion. I did want to see Bivol versus Benavidez, to be honest. That is a fight that I really wanted to see. We probably will still see it at some point, though. But I think it does make sense for Bivol. I feel like there's much more money involved in the Beterbiev fight for Dmitry Bivol in the trilogy. It's an absolutely huge trilogy fight. And Turki Al-Sheikh then eventually came out and said in the end as well that he would no longer fund Bivol and Benavidez. So overall, if you're looking at money-wise and if you're looking at legacy-wise as well, you ideally want to get the trilogy on with Artur Beterbiev, even though I think a lot of us did want to see the David Benavidez fight. But I wouldn't have blamed Bivol either way. I feel like it's really bad the way the WBC have treated Bivol, though, by ordering him to fight is mandatory when you're not seeing it for Canelo, you're not seeing it for Tyson Fury, but when it's Dmitry Bivol, they're ordering it. I feel like it's a shambles, the WBC is. Honestly, it's a joke. But we are getting the trilogy. That's a big thing. And Benavidez is a world champion. I feel like it's bad for David Benavidez as well. I mean, the guy can't catch a break, though, of course, because, he can't actually get to fight for a world title against the actual champion. But I feel like a fight that we've got to see for David Benavidez to really prove he's the world champ is against Callum Smith. Get that fight done. That should be a good fight. But David Benavidez deserves to be a world champion. He was ducked by Canelo for years, and finally, he managed to get himself into a position in the light heavyweight division, interim champ. Now he's been promoted to world champion. He deserves it without a shadow of a doubt. He does. 2 big wins over Govstick and David Morrell. So, it's good stuff for David Benavidez, and his next fight will be an interesting one. Callum Smith's up there in the WBO. Let's just move him over. Let's give him the WBC title shot against Benavidez. That will be a good fight. Both guys said they would happily entertain it. Let's see it. It's going to be a good world title fight. 2 very tall guys for the division as well. 2 guys who've got a good stature as well. It's going to be an interesting fight. They've got 2 similar builds, so that could be a good fight, in my opinion, Benavidez, Callum Smith. I'm looking forward to that one. 2 interesting styles as well. It's going to be a really entertaining fight. Both got tall guys who are both very good on the inside. That would be a very, very, very good fight and a great way to start Benavidez's title journey. But I am happy Benavidez is a world champion now. I am, but I'm annoyed that, they've done Bivol dirty like that by ordering him to fight is mandatory straight away when look at what else has happened. They should have had another extension for let's do this trilogy, because I feel like it does make sense, because I don't think Beterbiev's got too long left. He's 40 years old now, so I don't think he's got too long left in the game whatsoever. So I feel like it was probably right for Bivol. Take this trilogy fight against Beterbiev. Beterbiev will probably end up retiring afterwards anyway. So I think that this does, in my opinion, make all the sense in the world, and the trilogy is an absolutely huge fight which is going to get a lot of attention once again, like the rematch did. It was a very, very good over in Saudi Arabia watching it, to be fair. That rematch and the trilogy I know for a fact will be very good. I do expect Bivol to win it again, but it would have been good to see a fresh face Bivol fight in Benavidez and Beterbiev do something else. But in a way, though, it feels like you've got to get this trilogy done, though. I feel like, Bivol's honoured his word here, and it's the right thing to probably give Beterbiev the rematch, and it is good for legacy as well for both guys, who really is better out of the 2 after both guys have beaten each other once. So, in 2 very competitive fights that they've had, I thought the rematch was competitive, but I thought Bivol was a clear winner. Then the first fight was very, very, very close. But, this should be interesting to know. But for Benavidez, ideally, let's see that Callum Smith fight next. And he does deserve it. He's not, in my eyes, I don't look at David Benavidez as a fake world champ. The guy's been waiting for an opportunity for so long. And the fact that, he's eventually been promoted, it's not the way he would have wanted to win it. But look, he deserves this anyway. He deserves it. So, give him all the credit in the world. I mean, you look at the WBC now, the number 1 mandatory for is Artur Beterbiev. Then you've got David Morrell, who he's already beaten. Then you've got Albert Ramirez, Alexander Alexander Gvozdyk, who he's already beaten, number 5 Joshua Buatsi, who's lost his recent fight. It's got to be Callum Smith versus David Benavidez. It's got to be, kind of like what happened with Joseph Parker. He was the WBO interim champ, but then he eventually had to wait for Fury and Usyk to get their rematches done, so he ended up getting the opportunity against Dubois. Hopefully the same kind of thing happens here, and we see Callum Smith get the chance against Benavidez. But yeah, Bivol versus Beterbiev, the trilogy, is the fight that I think a lot of people want to see, and I feel like it is better for the money for both guys and in general for boxing. But is it though? Is it though, really? Because I think, Benavidez would have brought in a good American audience and a good Mexican audience, while Bivol has that good all-round European audience who likes him. But again, it's the same for Beterbiev, and I think a third fight, now it's 1-1. Could it be bigger than the 2 fights that they've had already? In my opinion, it very much could be a bigger fight. A trilogy is always absolutely huge. In my opinion, nothing really does get better than a trilogy. And I don't even think they need the undisputed titles on the line for the trilogy. I don't even think it matters. Unified is good enough. And, the third fight establishes itself already. Both guys have been undisputed. They've both done it. They're both 2 of the best light heavyweights ever. That's all fine. Let's just see who really is the better light heavyweight and who is the best light heavyweight of this era. A third fight between them will just prove that point. That's all we need to know in the third fight. Who is the best of our era? Is it Bivol or is it Beterbiev? That is what we are really going to find out. And I do think that, this trilogy had to happen at some point. And really thinking about it, it is probably best that it's happening now instead of having Beterbiev sit out for a bit. Because I can't see because I wouldn't have been able to see Beterbiev stepping in and taking another fight before a trilogy with Bivol. Bivol would have had a fight with Benavidez, and then if he'd won that, he would have gone probably straight into the trilogy, and Beterbiev would have been sat out but waiting inactive, and that is not good for a 40-year-old man to be doing. Even if your name is Artur Beterbiev, it's still not a good thing whatsoever. And I think it is clear to see I don't think Beterbiev is fully in. Is Beterbiev in his prime? I don't know if he is anymore after those 2 fights. 2 fights against Dmitry Bivol takes it all out of you. I believe that Beterbiev was in his prime for the first and second fight, but going into a third fight, would he still be any more? I don't know. That is the thing. So it's got to happen now. If we had to wait even longer, I don't think that would have been good. So overall, I feel like, it's a win-win kind of, but not for Benavidez. I feel like he would have wanted to do more and establish himself as the actual champ, but he's still got other chances to do that. Let's just see who his next fight against, and hopefully he is active pretty soon. Hopefully we do see David Benavidez in the summer. That's what I hope. Anyway, thank you for watching. Speak to you all in the next one.